Yo, what is up, you guys? We're back with another Forge Master video, and in today's video, we're gonna be talking about a little bit about like progression and pretty much in ascensions, like what you kind of want to focus towards regarding pets and like ascensions, and it's kind of like just bringing a bunch of videos together and just bringing a bunch of tips together. But this like strategy wise is kind of how to progress a little bit quicker than probably what most people are doing. So yeah, so keep in mind about all of this because in Ascensions, like a lot is it's just different, right? Like you got to keep things in mind. You want to focus on these things that I'm going to talk about in the video. So in this video, like you see by the title and thumbnail and all that good stuff, it's mostly going to be focusing on the best strategy to take advantage of with Ascensions and like what to do. Like because I don't actually have like a title name yet. I'll probably think of one later, but I'm just going to be talking about once you ascend, how to progress fast, like just after ascensions, like after you ascend, and there are some strategies to take advantage of. So with that being said, I'm gonna start like kind of just like in order, I guess, like chronologically, like starting with Forge 0. Let's say you just, well, I'll probably start with the Forge, and then I'll start with the pets or something, and then skills and all that good stuff. So, yeah, with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Or actually, before we get straight into the video, I want to talk about channel memberships. This video is going to be members only for quite some time. So all of you members are going to have like a lot of advantage, I guess, taking advantage of all these tips and kind of going over as much as I can with it. So shout out to you guys that like decided to support the channel. Huge shout out to all those guys. And when this video goes public, if you guys want to become a member, then absolutely take advantage of that because you will have just like early access to videos and access to videos earlier on. So yeah, so with that being said, thanks for becoming a member. And then also, if you guys could subscribe to the channel. I think by the time this video is out, I'm going to hit 3.2 thousand subscribers, but when it goes public, hopefully I can hit around 3,300 subscribers, so doing very good there, and huge shout out to everyone that's supporting the channel in that way. So yeah, so anyway, let's get straight into how to progress fast after ascending. Now, like I said, lots of strategies to take advantage of, but we're going to kind of go chronologically to just so I don't miss anything because there's just a lot to talk about. So anyways, with that being said, first thing is Forge. The first thing you're probably going to want to ascend is your Forge. I really wouldn't ascend pets before Forge. I mean, actually, maybe that is actually a good idea because some people have been doing that, but I personally think that ascending the Forge is more beneficial because there's a time limit or like there's what's it called, a timer to do this. So you're gonna want to like progress, or you're gonna want to keep running the timer over and over again. With pets, there's not really a timer; they're just these eggs. So I guess like the only way to ascend the pets is if you pay money to get extra eggs from like the shop or something, like 1.65K right there for $20, which is kind of a lot. It's kind of a scam, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, with that being said, you can take advantage of that or not. But I think the Forge is probably gonna be the first thing most people ascend anyway, so we'll start with that. For the first, like, I don't know, let's say like 3 Forges, primitive, medieval, early modern, that's going to go by very, very quickly. I mean, once you're able to ascend, your Forge tree should be severely upgraded anyway. Probably even close to being maxed out with the Forge timer, Forge reduction costs. So that should be chill. If it's not, then honestly don't stress about that too much because there's still like a lot to go over. So you're going to just want to keep progressing through the tech tree as much as possible. But yeah, with that being said, the Forge should go by very, very quickly with primitive, medieval, early modern. And then once you start unlocking modern, that's when you kind of want to stop. Like if things start to slow down just a little bit, I would imagine like the first couple of days is those 3 Forge levels. And then once you get to modern, you're going to probably be there for like a week or maybe a little bit longer than that, so don't really worry about that too much because that's kind of what it is for everyone. So once you get to modern, that's when you kind of want to stay there and not stay there, obviously you want to keep progressing, but your equipment isn't going to make too much of a difference depending on your power level. So like the only thing to focus on right now is the substats because you don't want to fall too far behind within the league or like I don't know with your dungeons. So with that being said, once you get to modern, you're going to want to just have have like full modern gear and go grind out the substats. Now, what are the substats that you want to progress after ascending? It's all honestly going to change like depending on how lucky you get and how unlucky you get. I made a video about like what strategy to use or like best substats to use to progress, but honestly, you can do whatever you feel like. Like people do melee, people do I don't know, range, depending on like what type of range, whether that's with double chance, whether that's with not double, like it literally could be anything with modern. There's no like specific ones that you should focus on. Now, I would probably recommend just doing range. I think it's the most simplest. If you want, you could melee, but like I said, that's just going to take some time. So with that being said, you're going to want to stick with modern, and you're probably going to have full modern gear, right? Like, there's really nothing that's going to help you with power as much, because even with modern, it's just not going to make a significant difference. So honestly, don't stress about that too much. But that's kind of like what most people are going to be with. So, and then after modern comes space, which space is kind of where basically where I'm at, honestly. And like most of my gear is space. Actually, it's not most of it, but as you can see with my gear, actually, I kind of want to address this. I have some modern, some space, and some interstellar. Like, it's all over the place, and that's kind of what it's going to be like for ascending, because all you're going for is the substats. Like the base damage doesn't really do much until you get to interstellar, or not interstellar, multiverse. Um, yeah, I basically don't have any interstellar, which is actually super funny. Low key, well, actually, I don't really care, to be honest. Why don't I have any interstellar, right? I just didn't get any, or I just had zero luck with the substats, so that's probably why. Typically, like, I would say, okay, let's see, primitive, medieval, early modern, modern space, and interstellar, and even multiverse, anything below quantum, you're just going to want to go for substats, right? Because once you get to quantum, that's kind of like what it is for divine. So you're going to want to just wait for several weeks until you get to quantum, then start going for that overall power, to get it as high as possible. But with ascending, like as you can see with me, I'm only going for the best substats. So if you look at modern, that is basically, I can't even get modern anymore. It says 0%, but I haven't had anything good to replace it with because of how OP these substats are. Basically maxed out lifesteal, basically maxed out crit chance, basically maxed out attack speed, basically maxed out crit chance, and basically maxed out crit damage, basically maxed out crit chance. So very, very high substats. I mean, everything's basically maxed out, which is exactly what I want. I haven't had any luck with interstellar, any luck with multiverse, and what's it called, space. So that's why I have modern gear. Now, why do I have space gear when I could have had interstellar or multiverse, right? Like, if you look at here, very high crit chance, crit damage and attack speed, very high attack speed and crit chance. Now, honestly, I could replace it fairly quickly, but like I said, I just haven't had any luck. There's no reason for me to replace it because the overall base damage just doesn't do anything. So your gear for ascending for forge is gonna look very, very like all over the place, and that's totally normal for everyone. I really like would not complain or like be worried about that or just wasting an opportunity to get rid of something maxed out, because there's really just no point to. There's just no reason to, right? Like, I just heavily would depend on not doing that, like, ever. So yeah, so take advantage of doing that strategy, and then once you get to quantum, basically take any quantum that you get that's worth it. I would say, like, for me, anything that's like level 0 or level 1 all the way through like level 80, I guess, I really would not take if it was quantum. I would wait until like gets to like closer to like a level 100 or max, because that's when the base substat is more like powerful, I guess. So there's really no point. I would pretty much just ignore all these quantum pieces that I'm getting early on, unless if it's a maxed out substats, but more than likely it's not maxed out. And then when it does get to like 100 to like 120 or whatever my power level upgrades allow me, that's when I'm gonna pretty much take most of the quantum gear depending on the substats. Like, I would probably get rid of this easily. I would get rid of all the modern. I would get rid of all the space just for the quantum, because the base substats going to help me so much rather than the substats. or the base stat is gonna help me more than the substat. So that's basically it for the forge. I would say that's everything that I would recommend. Once you get to quantum, underworld or quantum basically applies the same rules for underworld and divine, so there's no really changes that I would make there. But with quantum, that's kind of where things change regarding all of the other substats, and you should be able to do all of this within a month, or maybe like a month and a half, depending on your what's it called, your substat or your tech tree. So hopefully ascending the first level of ascensions doesn't take too long, but it will just take some time. So yeah, so just keep grinding towards that. Now, with that being said, let's get straight into the pets. So, as you're ascending with the forge, more than likely you're going to have around 50 to 60,000 pet hatching things just to grind out all of the commons, rares, epics, and then maybe just touch up on the legendaries. Hopefully, you get to the legendaries, but if not, then that's totally okay. You can still just grind. You'll get closer and closer either way. So, once you get to the legendaries, which if we go here, here, to here, you get the legendaries, which is great. You're going to want to use whatever substats give you the most, but keep in mind the base damage, base health doesn't really help too much. It's kind of when you get to ultimates, that's when you want to use basically anything and everything you have. So when you ascend the pets, get like 50 something thousand, go through all the legendaries, and then use the legendaries because those substats are going to help a lot with the base damage, but the ultimate pets is going to help a lot more. So use the ultimate pets like crazy, right? That's just going to help you so much. Even if the substats are bad with the pets, you still want to use it because the base damage and base health significantly increases, and it's just going to help you progress a lot more depending on whatever substats you have. So, nah, this one, see, I would use this. It would help me a little bit, but it's just not worth it. So I can't take advantage of it because the substats are so buds, and I'm not in quantum yet for it to like actually make a significant difference. No, all this is bad. Yeah, that's bad too. Yikes. Okay, well, we tried. Let's just keep it going. 67. I burned like 30,000 hammers already, but to be fair, I just barely play the game anymore, so I don't really care about hammers that much. And then also, whenever you're spending hammers, you absolutely want to make sure it's an award day, so you get like all these free rewards. Yeah, here, wait, what, here, and here. So, yeah, not bad there. Hopefully I can hit around 300,000 or something. I don't really know, but that's kind of what you want to do with the pets. Now, with the skills is essentially the same. You want to save up like 100 to 150,000 ish skill tickets. I mean, that's gonna help you get the ultimates and the morale. So take advantage of that. I mean, depending on how much this costs for you guys, hopefully it's not too expensive. But if you can get it to 170, 180, then you're kind of chilling. But yeah, the warm, pretty good. You want to take advantage of that. The lightning is also pretty good, and then morale is probably the best one out of all of them. No, unfortunately for me, there's just no way I'm going to get close to mythics, so I'm just going to wait a little bit. I could probably summon, but it's better to just wait for war day and just use all my skill tickets for war, because at least that way I get points and stuff. So going to save up all that, probably for SSS, or tier SSS, because that's going to be a little bit more challenging, and hopefully we can still pull through and win. But yeah, we'll just kind of have to see what happens. Yep, okay, so anyway, with that, save up like 100 to 150,000, burn all of them, and then hopefully you get this. And then when you do, you kind of want to ignore all of them except for morale, warm, and lightning. Honestly, the main one to avoid is stampede. This is absolutely useless. Never even consider using this. I mean, it's just way worse than like all of them combined. So yeah, never use a stampede. I don't know why that hasn't gotten a buff yet. That's so stupid. Like, I feel like developers just don't care, so I don't know. But yeah, use morale instead. 10 times better. Gives you more health, gives you more damage, which is always good. These are not bad either, but well, honestly, anything is better than morale. So, actually, I really wouldn't use this, or not better morale, better than stampede. I really wouldn't use this if you have the warm or if you have the lightning, because those ones are significantly better. Also, keep in mind, don't upgrade all of these if you don't really need to. Like hitting upgrade all is going to accumulate so much more points for war, so you don't want to waste those points at all, and just wait a little bit because you will get lucky. Not lucky, but you will get a bunch of free points if you don't upgrade. So anyway, with that being said, that's pretty much it with all the how to progress fast after ascensions. Because with the mounts, I haven't progressed yet, but you basically want to save up a ton of mounts. Like, it kind of sucks because the mounts, it's definitely, it's easily the last thing people are going to ascend. And going from, like, whatever you need, I think it's like legendaries or something to keep up with 12.9 mil and 100 mil of that, of those base stats. But it's going to just be very, very expensive. And then also you want to go here, you want to go to the tech tree, and you want to upgrade this as much as possible just to save as many mount keys as you can. Currently I'm at 30, and I'm definitely going to upgrade this before I spend my mounts too. It's just going to help a little bit. Like, for example, instead of it costing 2.2, it'll probably cost like 2.2 or 2.22. It'll probably cost like 2.00 or something, or I don't know. It's going to be a little bit cheaper, which might as well do it, because if I have the time, then I might as well take advantage of it, right? But if not, then that's also totally okay. So yeah, that's pretty much what I would do to take advantage of that. And yeah, honestly, that's pretty much it. I don't really have any other tips about like how to progress fast with ascending, because my other videos kind of cover like the other topics that I didn't talk about in this video. So take advantage of these tips, and if you guys enjoyed this video, then let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.